Oh, hi there. I bet you're wondering what I'm doing in a hole 8 feet down. Well, it's a fun story, actually. I'm making an audition tape for a PBS show called Texas Ranch House. At first I thought I'd make a video involving a lot of wood splitting, figuring that wielding an axe well projects a nice manly ranch image. But then I thought that a lot of other people probably had the same idea, and that y'all have probably seen all the wood splitting that you care to. So then I thought, what are my other abilities? Well, I can play a jaw harp and a concertina, but most people find those instruments pretty irritating. I can sew, knit, and crochet, but 5 minutes of that doesn't make for a very interesting video. I can cook, but not with the sort of flair that would make that entertaining either. I'm good with my hands and make a decent carpenter, but it's more of a hobby, and I didn't want to focus on anything that would get me compared with professionals. And so, I can do a lot of things, but none of them really well enough to make me stand out. It's hard to make mediocrity shine. So then I thought, I can really highlight that I'm not only willing, but really eager to do a lot of back-breaking physical labor. So how to highlight this one shining trait? Well, I figured keep it simple and just dig a hole. I know that there will be a lot of working with shovels on the ranch, from cleaning out stables, to digging wells, to sinking fence posts, and I figured that if I start digging a hole and keep digging all day for 2 days, I should end up with something that not only catches your attention, but that shows off my ability to do a lot of ass-breaking labor.
It's March in Minnesota, and as you can see, everything's still nice and frozen. I'll be digging in that corner because that's the only place that my wife will let me dig. But first there are a few things that I have to get out of my way. First, there's this pile of snow. Every time it snows, we have to shovel our driveway, and we end up just throwing it over the fence. Then there's a fire ring that got left out, and is trapped in 3 inches of ice due to thawing and refreezing. First I tried chopping it out, but I kept hitting it by accident, so I started a fire to thaw it out instead. Although that worked, the smoke really slowed down on digging. By the time I got the fire ring out of the way, half the day was already gone, and I had taken a break for a lunch of White Castles and soda. I could finally get down to digging. Unfortunately, the ground was frozen and even more difficult to dig through than the layer of ice. The ice at least shatters. Digging in frozen ground is like trying to dig through soft wood or freshly laid asphalt. Nevertheless, I kept at it, and progress was made, slowly but surely. By sundown, I had a hole that I could sit in just barely. I started a fire in it, hoping to thaw out the surrounding ground and speed progress. Thankfully, the fire worked. I was able to widen the hole a bit and get it deep enough that I was taking 2 shovels to dig, a tiny one to get the dirt to knee level, and a bigger one to toss it from there out to the hole. As the hole got deeper, I was having to throw every shovelful of sand almost vertically to get it out of the hole. This meant that it would all fall near the opening, pile up, and eventually fall right back in almost as fast as I could shovel it out. So I spent quite a bit of time climbing in and out of the hole, and shoveling around the piles of sand that were accumulating on the surface.
Well, that's how I spent my weekend. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I know the video quality is kind of crappy, but I hope that watching me hack through 3 feet of frozen ground and digging down into 8 feet of sand was more interesting than me chopping a bunch of wood. I hope to do a lot more work for you out on the Texas ranch.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.